Hey folks, Prof Psych here. Don't forget to follow on Insta. Today we're going to look at central tendency. Important you know those words. You might be asked to give an example of central tendency. It means our mean, our mode, our median. You'll know this, but let's just look at how we calculate them again. The mean score. Well, what we do here to find a mean score, we add up all the figures we've been given, the bits of data we've been given, and we get a total. We divide that total by the number of bits of data we had. Let's consider this. Okay, I've got 7 babies, so I've got 7 different scores, 7 weights. Okay, so what I've got to do is add up all the weights of those 7 babies, okay, and divide by 7 because there were 7 of them. I get a score of 24.1 divided by 7 gives me a mean weight of 3.4 kilograms. Okay. What are the advantages and disadvantages of the mean? Well, the advantages is it uses all the data in the calculation. No bits of data are excluded. In a future video, we'll look at levels of measurement or levels of data, but here we say it's the most accurate measure of central tendency, particularly because it uses data at the interval level. Data that's ranked, for example, on an official scale, like grams and kilograms or seconds and time. The disadvantage is that an extreme score will skew the data, will shift the mean higher or lower because of that potential one extreme score. And not only that, of course, we could end up with a mean value that was never in our original data. And might this be a meaningful number? Let's take these numbers, okay, and let's say it's the numbers of people. I don't know, numbers of people in a room, numbers of people in a crowd, in a family house, something like that. We got 9 different bits of data, okay, so we add them together. Our sum of that data is 37. We divide by 9, so we get 4.1. 4.1 then was not listed in our original data, so that's interesting. Wasn't one of our original figures, but second to that, does 0.1 of a person make sense? Maybe not. Okay, let's look then, folks, at the median. The median, first thing we have to do is rank our data from smallest figure to the largest figure, okay? And then what we do, well, 2 things. If it's an odd number of scores, here they are ranked from small to large, it's easy, it becomes the middle figure. So here we can see the figure 7, but it's got 3 digits either side of it, okay? If it's an even score, what we now have to do is pick the point that's in between. So it's still the middle space here, isn't it? But it's in between the 7 and 8. What we now have to do, of course, is to add those together and divide them by 2. In other words, what we're doing is actually getting a mean value, a mean score, between 7 and 8 to give us a score of 7.5 as the median. Okay, think of these examples. I'll let you do them, okay? Pause the video. Now the answers, okay? So, first thing you've got to do is put those into rank order, those scores. I like to tell my students, cross 1 off from this end, cross 1 off from that end, cross 1 off, cross 1 off, cross 1 off. And I can see that my median here is 3.5 kilograms. Have a go at the second one. Pause the video if you haven't done it. Okay. Second answer, put them in rank order, cross them off, each end, in turn. We're left with 2 numbers. What we've got to do, add them together, divide by 2, okay? 6.9 divided by 2, 3.45 kilograms. Advantages and disadvantages. We're now less affected by extreme scores. They essentially get crossed off if you think of it like that. Is it a good advantage? It's easier to calculate than the mean, usually, okay? And can be used with ordinal data. We'll come back to that a little bit later in a future video. You might argue it's not as sensitive or as representative as the mean, okay? Particularly as not all scores are actually used. We only quote, if you like, 1 score from our original data set. And here, we talked about this unrepresentative bit before, but look here, look at these numbers. 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, well, our median here would be the number 4. To the naked eye, because it's the middle of those ranked numbers, does it look the most representative to you? Would a mean value have been better? Good question to think about. Okay, folks, the mode, very simply, is the most common or frequent score within a set of data. Okay, so here we can see you don't have to rank order, but I would always suggest you do it because it groups the same numbers together. So we've listed out some weights. Maybe these are babies' weights again. What's the mode? The mode here is 3.5 kilograms because it's the most frequent score. In this data, it appears twice. No other number does. Okay. The advantages of the mode. Okay. Less prone to extreme or distorting values. Those extreme values. All right. Sometimes makes more sense than the mean. Let's go back to that kind of people thing, splitting people up. For example, it's better to say the average number of children in a British family is 2 as a modal value, okay, rather than 2.4 as a mean, because we know that we can't get 0.4 of a person, okay. Disadvantages, there can be more than one mode, or essentially no mode, no number that's more frequent than others, okay? And of course, it, compared to the mean, does not use all the data, okay? And is therefore considered less sensitive than the mean. Now, I've got some questions for you here. I want you to work out the mean, median, and mode for all these. Pause your video before the answers. And the answers, folks. Okay, so hopefully you've got the same answers as these. I won't calculate all because of time, okay? But there's your numbers for data from a psychology quiz. Check your calculations if you didn't get it, okay? Number of faces recalled out of 12 and a free recall task. Here's our answers, okay? And finally, the final one there, scores out of 35 on a questionnaire, is our mean, median, and mode. All right. There's a summary of it, folks. You've got to write a nice little flashcard for your revision, how to calculate them, okay? And don't forget to follow Prof Psych on Instagram. More videos to come on research methods at this moment in time. Keep it going, folks.